Hi everyone, this is Jenny from DeFi Mum, and today we are in Zapper. We are going to do some yield farming. We've done some videos on that before, so if you're interested in kind of the definition of yield farming to learn a bit more about exactly what it is, then you can look at our previous videos. And if not, maybe my husband can kindly explain quickly here what yield farming is.
And yeah, we'll go through it all. So just a quick kind of reminder. So we did a video about Zapper. Zapper is what at least I call like a DeFi interface. So this is we're running on the Ethereum blockchain. We've logged into Zapper using our MetaMask Ethereum wallet, which is a Chrome extension. You can get that from the Chrome store. Zapper is as I say, it's an interface, but it also has some functionality, and actually that's why it's called Zapper. So the Zapper thing is it kind of allows you to do multiple things in one go. So that's kind of why it's called Zapper. So, but to begin with, one nice thing about Zapper, you can just use it in like a passive sense. So this is just showing what's going on in our wallet. So we've started to do a few things now in our as we build up our videos. So we've got a few different tokens. So we've got some ETH, which is the main kind of native token for the Ethereum blockchain. We've got this token called Curve.
So that's all taken in from your MetaMask.
Yeah. So it's just reading your MetaMask. Mm-hmm. And it's pulling the price here from some exchanges of the ETH price and the Curve price, and it's telling us how much kind of value we've got here. It's putting this up here. We've got some deposits, so we've been doing a lot of things in Compound in our videos. Yeah. So we've got a little bit of DAI in Compound, and we can see the interest rate we're earning. And this kind of stuff is quite useful. We could go to Compound and have a look, but if we were using, the more DeFi dApps we're using, then you don't want to be flicking between them all. You want to have like an overview. And this also has, as you can see here, yield farming. So you mentioned we've done some yield farming. So because we're using Compound, the DeFi savings and loan dApp, we're earning a little bit of their Compound token. And that's just what yield farming is, a kind of fancy name for basically you're being given some tokens for doing something.
Yeah.
So that's all it is.
And that's the really I don't know how to. Is that like that? That's the really exclusive thing about DeFi, isn't it? That you can do yield farming. Is it compared to like banks or where it's just interest you can earn, but there's no such thing as yield farming that you would be rewarded for using there.
I mean, it's kind of. yield farming is just a term that people started using 6 months ago. It's just kind of it's like incentivized usage. I mean, in some ways, in the kind of the non-blockchain world, you kind of have it a little bit with like loyalty cards. I mean, it's a sort of a loyalty card.
Yeah.
When you use a loyalty card, you build up in a sense they're kind of tokens.
Yeah,
or you build up discounts. So the difference in blockchain is you're using tokens which also have their own value. So it's more accessible rather than being obviously with Compound you can just cash out Compound and get dollars or whatever you want for it. If you have Walmart tokens or whatever, or if you have air miles is the best example. Everyone's got loads of air miles.
Yeah.
No one can ever use them, and you can't transfer air miles. You can't combine air miles together to do something useful. You just have a little bit of air miles on all the anyway. By the way.
Yeah.
So we're going to do some yield farming. So we can see here at the top here, there's a few things you can do on Zapper. You can exchange like you would do with Uniswap or something like that. You can do this pooling, and this is actually where we're going to do our yield farming. And there's also this here, which says farming opportunities. So the user interface here is a bit odd. I don't really know why they do it this way. I'm sure there must be a reason, but I don't understand it. But this is basically showing us these are so when you're yield farming, normally it's basically you're being encouraged to do something. And for these ones that are shown here is they're encouraging you to put some of your value. So we have value in our wallet, not very much, $100, whatever. And it's saying if you put some of that value into our in our dApp, really, we're going to give you some interest. So this is return on investment, and this is the return on investment generated specifically by the reward token you're going to get. So if we go into the wrapped Bitcoin ETH pool in SushiSwap, we're going to earn. Well, obviously this changes all the time. As you can see, this is 7.22% over the last year, but only 0.31% over the last week. So it's very it changes a lot. And you can see here, this is the token we're going to get as the reward. Okay, so
is that because that is happening on the sushi swap DApp?
Yeah, so you can see here underneath it says this is the DApp, the DeFi DApp where the kind of activity is actually happening. So in this case, it's it says page 1 of 11. We could have I'm not going to have a look at them all, but at the moment, the Curve is a bit like Uniswap, but for stable coins. And they have their own Curve token, and Sushi Swap is exactly like Uniswap, and they have their Sushi token. So the reward is going to be in this Sushi token.
And these are ranked here from the liquidity.
Yeah, they're ranked by liquidity. So liquidity is the amount of value that is locked into this system. And what a liquidity pool just is if you go into the Sushi Swap DApp and you had some ETH and you wanted to buy some wrapped Bitcoin, or you had some wrapped Bitcoin and you wanted to buy some ETH, you're basically, that's where you're swapping your tokens. So if I had 1 ETH and I bought some wrapped Bitcoin, there needs to be some tokens to facilitate that swap.
Yeah.
You see so liquidity pool is just a collection of 2 different sorts of tokens, and people are selling one token and buying the other, and the other way around. So it's just the numbers always kind of swapping up and down.
But it seems to me like to simplify it really to see whether you're getting a good reward in return or not. You would look at this number here.
Yeah. Return on investment is the key thing here.
Right.
But again, they don't show it. Over the last year, a lot's gone on over the last year. And these things change. Anyway, so we are going to put some liquidity into the Sushi ETH liquidity pool. So we can see this is going to currently it's going to earn us 25% for a year. That seems pretty. I mean, that's the biggest one. So that seems a good one to do. And sushi. I mean, Sushi Swap has got quite big at the moment for various reasons we don't have to know at the moment. But it's not always been big. So, but anyway, for the just to do something, we have to choose something.
Yeah.
So we're going to go back to pool, and we're going to find here the Sushi ETH available pool number 7. And it's hard to see. There's a little tractor there, a little yellow tractor, which means this is going to earn you yield.
Right.
So these other ones, you could put value into those, and you'll earn some fees. So the reason people lock money into liquidity pools is anytime someone swaps, they pay a tiny amount of the fee, so 0.3% normally. At least that's Uniswap. So as more money gets swapped into those liquidity pools, then there's a reward structure there in those tokens. But that's not yield farming, because yield farming is in the tokens of the underlying DApp. So yield farming is in Sushi Swap, we're going to get sushi.
Yeah.
And in Compound we get comp.
Yeah.
And in Curve you get curve.
Yeah.
So if that helps. Right. So let's and we can see here also this is the fees in the last 24 hours. This is how much money the fees have generated for people who are locking into liquidity pool. So we'll also get a share of these fees.
Okay, right.
But the yield farming is like the extra, like the bonus sort of thing going on. So so we're going to add liquidity. So this is where Zapper kind of got its name from, and this is where it's actually very useful. Because if we were going to do this without using something like Zapper, we'd have to go to Sushi Swap, and then we'd have to swap some of our ETH tokens into Sushi, and then we'd have to take our ETH tokens and our Sushi tokens and lock them into the liquidity pool. So we'd have to do 2 transactions.
Yeah. Could you do all of that within Sushi Swap?
No. Yeah. You do it all within Sushi Swap, but you have to do 1 transaction. Obviously, wait for that to go through the blockchain, and then you have to. So this is just. I mean, this is slightly lazy. If you're a real hardcore person, maybe you find this offensive, but we're not super hardcore people, so we don't. So so I'm going to enter. I'm going to say how much value we're going to put in. So we're not going to put in a lot. We haven't got a lot, but so we'll say. We're roughly going to put in like half of what we got, so like kind of $40, I think, something like that. So we're going to put 0.04 ETH, and this is just kind of checking that we've got the right thing. So we're going to put it into Sushi Swap, into the Sushi ETH liquidity pool.
Yeah.
And what's going to come out of that is it's going to take our ETH and it's going to buy us 3.88 Sushi tokens and 0.2 to WETH. So WETH is just it's wrapped. It's called wrapped ETH. You don't have to worry about it. It's just a version of it of ETH. So the gas fees are going to be kind of expensive on this because gas is expensive at the moment, and we're kind of doing this slightly complicated swap kind of thing. So let's just see what it comes up as. So yeah, you can see here. So the value of the ETH we're putting in is like $48.50. I haven't got enough money.
No, I was going to say we can't do it.
So let's tone down our.
Let's start the video.
No. Let's do it. So let's see if this is gonna go through now.
Yeah.
Okay, so just about. So we're actually the gas fee is going to be more than the value we're doing, but this is the maximum gas fee, so it might be a bit less than that. So normally you wouldn't do this. This is uneconomic, but we're obviously doing this for a video. So we don't care if we're making money or not, if that makes sense. So we just wait now for the thing to go through the Ethereum blockchain. We can actually have a look at. If we click here, we'll go to Etherscan. So Etherscan is an interface with the Ethereum blockchain.
Right.
So this is just showing us the thing's not happened yet. So hopefully it will go through. If it doesn't, it will say failed, or it could just be, sometimes they just take a long time to go through.
Yeah.
So it's estimating it's going to take 11 minutes. And it's saying this is what?
It'll take longer, I assume, because there are 3
no, because it's doing them all in one go. So
Right,
they
okay.
won't make it any longer. That makes the gas higher. So this is our Ethereum address, and it's going to this. This is the contract that it's sending it to. So this is there we go.
There we go.
So success. So you can see why this was expensive. So what happened here is the transaction action. The transaction action. That's good. So we had our 0.3 ETH, and we got this swapped it for these sushi things. So it actually did that swap on Uniswap. It didn't do it on SushiSwap. So because basically it chose the best way to do it. So you can kind of see.
But we would still have an sushi.
Yes, it will end up in. So you can see here. So we've gone through, and actually, if you know about this it's used this 0x protocol, which is something totally different. It's gone to Uniswap and swapped the sushi, and it's here's the wrapped ETH has come in, and then it's basically this is the so we've got the sushi tokens.
And this is obviously interesting, but for
okay.
someone like me,
Okay.
is this really useful information to sit and kind of...
Okay, I don't know, probably
you-
not. But this is just showing you what happened. So
Yeah. No, I'm just...
yeah.
people might be interested, is this the stuff I should know, kind of thing.
No, you don't need to do it, but it's. I mean,
It is good with the transparency.
So basically, this is showing you, basically, you can follow through. And we've taken to me, we've swapped it into these things, and it's gone into this, gone into the sushi swap liquidity pool. So that's basically where we wanted it to go, and it just shows you the steps, and it gets routed around. A bit like the internet. Internet, your information can be routed around loads of different servers.
Yeah.
Blah blah blah. Most important bit is this is the value of what we swapped, and this is the fee. So we actually only paid $28. So we paid it a bit less. So yeah.
Okay, so shall we...
So right, so yes, success, and now let's go and have a look and see. Aha! So obviously our total assets have gone down because we just spent a whole chunk of money on gas fees.
Yeah.
So our ETH's gone down. Obviously our ETH's gone down a lot because some of that has gone into the liquidity pool. So the important bit here is that we now have
36.44.
36.44. I'm glad someone's paying attention. Into the sushi liquidity pool, so we can see that there, and
Now the yield farming, obviously.
hopefully, yeah. So it's not. I guess because this is a pretty small amount, and we won't have actually yield farmed anything yet.
Okay, well that's interesting. We'll look back in a couple of days and see.
Yeah.
I see that we actually earn sushi as well, despite the transaction having happened on Uniswap. Is that right?
Yeah. It doesn't matter whether the transaction happened. That was just a token swap. Yeah. So you can actually see here. So now we go to pool. It also says current investment. We can see kind of what happened. Obviously at some point we'll want to withdraw that, or if this is going really well, we might want to kind of add more to it as well. So this now is yeah, and you can start to see something like Zapper, the value of it as a way of doing complicated things, in one interface.
Making it simple, yeah.
That really works when you if we ever get to the stage where we've got 5 different of these things going.
Yeah.
And we might want to go, oh, this one's going really well, this one's been not very good, so we're going to withdraw that one, get the tokens, and add to the one that's going well.
Yeah.
Now that kind of stuff would be complicated, because then you're going to loads of different DeFi dApps and doing things and coming back to the next one, and so this is definitely something that like Zapper as an interface really works well, and something as a way of doing basically a one button press to do some quite complicated things.
Yeah.
Really works out. So the one thing I do worry a little bit about Zapper is does it make things too easy? Like these, I mean, some of these things I not that I'm a genius on this sort of stuff, but some of these things I wouldn't really know quite whether these are good things to invest in, whether they're risky or not, or whether quite what's going on there. So sometimes I think it can make sometimes making stuff too easy for people can kind of lull them into a false sense of security. So, but yeah, by the by, generally seeing what's going on is a good thing. Let's put it that way.
Yeah. Okay. And to always be sensible and do some research beforehand before you kind of start.
Well, yeah, definitely. If there's stuff you don't understand, then clearly you don't do it.
No. Okay. So that's how to do yield farming through Zapper. And if you've got any questions, please just post them in the comments, and we'll be very happy to answer. Well, my husband will be. And check out our other videos as well. And thank you, and see you soon.